This video has been put together for clubs, leagues to understand how to use the FA Full Times League Administration match return function within the website. As you can see here, this page is the first page in which you would log into the system. Each league is responsible for setting up their own individual users to the system, and this will entail an email address being entered into the system, granting team administrator access, which will then have an email sent to your designated address to ask you to follow a link and complete your individual login details. Once you have clicked the sign in button, this will take you to the login page, which will showcase your username and password. As you can see, I have mine here. Obviously, yours will be individual to yourself once set up. Click the I'm not a robot, and it will ask you to sign in. Once you are into the system, for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to use a previous season. And once into the system, you will note here a lot of options across the top. As team administrator, you will have access to the results drop down. I'm going to click on results, which will give me all the options that you can see here. And I'm going to choose the results and stats function here. As you can see, it brings you back to results summary by date. Now, as you can see, there's no actual fixtures in here, but what this will do, if I click on show all dates, it will bring me back a list of options around fixtures played during times and dates throughout the 1920 season period. If I click on results, I'm going to use this one as an example. This will bring back the date that you've played, and you can obviously filter by your own team. Now, to enter the statistics that we need in terms of what would normally be classed as a team sheet return, you would find your team. In this occasion, we're going to use the two teams here. Click on statistics, and first of all, what that brings back is a set of FA marks, which is linked to your referee, the respect programme and the facility, which we will kindly ask you to fill in. In terms of the referee, where it is appointed through the Full Times system already and a named official has been entered into the system, you can see here that the referee's name has been entered. If the referee's name hasn't been entered, or for whatever reason it's a different referee, you would use this function here, first name and last name, to provide us with the name of the referee who actually officiated the game. What we're looking for here is marks out of 40 for overall decision making, out of 30 for judgment of major decisions, and out of 30 for overall control. As you can see from this game here, the referee is being given a mark of 100, which is top marks for each section. However, if there is a low score or a mark of 60 or below, we do ask that a rationale or reasons behind why such low scores has been entered into the system to be articulated in that box here. Moving further down, the respect programme looks at elements which have been on the pitch, as you can see here, and good to see behaviour was positive and consistent with respect guidelines throughout for this team here, but also looking at areas around the pitch as well. And behaviour was positive and consistent with respect guidelines throughout. There are obviously opposite ends to the scale with this, so there were regular instances of poor behaviour. Obviously, this provides excellent insight from a league perspective in terms of if there is any ticks in these boxes here, this box here, or this box here, indicating either some incidents of poor behaviour or regular incidents of poor behaviour. That gives an opportunity for the league to follow up on those incidences. Also, something else that's quite important is around pitch marks. So depending on which type of pitch that you are using, whether it's grass, whether it's 3G, etc., you have the opportunity to give it a mark. On this occasion, it's been played on 3G and it's been rated as excellent. Obviously, this grass can be a varying degree of standards as well. So we would ask that you fill in those areas there as well. Clearly, these three elements of reporting are quite crucial in terms of knowing about the referee, knowing about the respect programme, knowing about the facility, and we'd kindly ask that you fill those in as to the best of your ability. Moving on to the actual team sheet function, click on the player statistic button, and what that will bring back is that will bring back the players who are registered through Whole Game System and approved by your respective league into full time for you to choose from. If your player hasn't been approved or registered, the player will not show as available within your list of choices here. Now, if you have had a scenario where you have a player signed on the day, the suggestion is always to make sure that you follow the process that is outlined within your league's functions to make sure that you can do this on the match day, but also enable yourself to get the player into full time as quickly as possible following the completion of the game. As you can see here, there's a number of options across the top: started, on the bench and used, on the bench unused, captain, goal, on goal conceded, penalty, yellow card, sin bin, second yellow card, red card. Now, as you can see here, there's been some information inputted in terms of started, benched, used, captain and goals, but none of the other information has been entered. That's perfectly fine for this league because there isn't any requirements for the teams to enter this information, but there may be some conditions within your league which dictates that you must fill these in as well, but that will be stated on a league by league individual basis. In terms of if you are using this function here and wondering what it looks like from a public facing full-time homepage, well, actually what happens is from the back office functions here, the entry information has been inputted into the system. For anybody wishing to find this particular league on full-time's public facing and how it looks from a results point of view, well, this is how it would look from a public facing point of view. You can see the players, you can see how many goals have been scored and by who. You can even see what minutes they've been scored on here, and also you can see the substitutions here on this left hand side. This particular team has entered in the numbers that the players were using as well, so there's a lot of information that can be put into the system. If you're using the FA's Matchday app and you are wondering how would I submit my match return using that, well, actually that's quite simple. And what you can do is, if you are using the app and you then post the end of the game looking to report back to the league, works in a very, very similar way to the full-time match return, but you don't need to log into full-time. You would open the app, find your particular fixture. You would then edit the scores here through the edit function, enter the information relating to the game. So you can see here a goal for, goal against, substitutions, yellow cards. You can also enter the referee's marks, which are stated here as mandatory. Then use the flow buttons here to move across to mark out a 40 for each of the three main areas for the referee, which will ultimately generate a mark out of 100. The respect marks are exactly the same in terms of on the pitch, off and around the pitch, but also there's some team marks which have been entered in around some specific data, and the pitch marks are still there. So using the information here, you can choose whether it's grass, whether it's 3G, etc., and then you can mark the pitch out of 5 within the Matchday app as well. You'll then obviously click the submit button, which will then flag up some information. Your match report will now be submitted to full time. Are you sure all the details are correct? You would click either yes, or if you were unsure, no, which would take you back to the match reporting system. But also then, if you are using the PayPal function that goes along with the Matchday app, it would ask you if you then wanted to ask your players to pay their fee for the match. If you were happy to do that, you would click yes. If you did not want to use that, then that would be a no. Again, any entry from Matchday would obviously go straight through to full time and be shown on the public facing pages as well. So there's two options with match returns through the current FA technology systems. Full-time users can use the full-time functions if they wish, but also the downloading of Matchday will give them a lot more functionality in terms of on the go, using an application to submit information, and hopefully that will be something that we see more and more downloaded from clubs and leagues around the county going forward into the new season. Very, very important to recognise with these functions that they do replace the paper-based functions that have been used previously by leagues. Given the current situation, we feel that the advocacy of the technology systems are the areas of least risk going forward in terms of submitting team sheets, referee scores, etc., etc. We hope you found this video useful, and we thank you for watching. And should you have any inquiries, please contact Cumberland FA on 01900 511 800 or email development@cumberlandfa.com. Thank you.